Yeah, let's start. So, I think what was the last thing we discussed? Docker Hub, right? I mean, repositories, as well as few commands I think we discussed, and how to push to Nexus also. I mean, how to, we created a Nexus as a container and we used it, we pushed it. As I mentioned last time, there is one more thing called registry. Of course, you can search in the app also, which is completely fine. Registry. So, this is again similar to an Nexus. It's a private registry where we use it. We can able to pull it, run as a container 5000 port. See, they give you command also by default. If you don't know, so you can able to use this, and you can able to tag and push it. See how we tag it with Nexus, the URL, right? Similar way you can able to push like this. So that's what I told. I mean, you try it, you practice it. So we won't be discussing this in class. So, but yeah, most of the organizations use either Nexus or a JFrog or Docker Hub also they'll use, but it's the enterprise version. Whatever I showed you, it's a free one. I mean, I don't really bought it, but there is an enterprise version which is available where we can buy and we can able to use it, or companies use those that also, which is fine. So, coming to now, today's topic is about something called volumes. That's what images we have nothing. Obviously, containers are nothing. So first thing, let's run a container. Maybe something. Maybe Nginx. Why I'm taking Nginx every time? Because it's smaller one to download. That's it. I can take anything. See, just because I'm doing with Nginx, you don't also do it with Nginx. Do with any image. Take any image, Jenkins, whatever it is. Just take anything, whatever you want. Okay. I'm just doing because Nginx Alpine image, as I told you, which comes with very 80 MB size. So downloading is easy. Pulling the image is faster. Some may be more than 100 MB, some may be more than 200 MB, blah blah blah, something like that. Got it? Let it run little, just let it. See, that is why I ran it. Of course, Docker ps minus a, it's running. I mapped the port. It means with 80 port, I can able to access localhost. Sorry, 8081. Okay. See Nginx. You observe, even though I gave 80 port, it's not showing here. But if I give other ports, it will show because 80 is the default HTTP, right? So it won't consider it. It will automatically takes it, even though if you don't give. But yeah, it's fine. It's not a Docker. Today we'll talk about something called volumes, as I told. So before going to volumes, I want to show you how and where all these information of containers are stored. As I told you, where lib. Sorry, this is a Mac, right? I don't know how where it stores in Mac, but yeah, let me show. Yeah, see, Docker desktop application. In Linux, see, if you see inside Docker desktop, Docker, where lib Docker, this is where you present, but in here, I think this is where. Let's try. I don't know. No such file directory. It's okay. So what I'm trying to show is when you create a container, it will create a folder over there in the where lib Docker by default. If you are practicing in Linux, this is what it will show. Where lib Docker. So let me see if anything is there in the settings to change it. General, blah, blah, blah. I think nothing really. Resources. Let's go to file sharing. No, I don't know really. I mean, how in Mac it works. It's okay, it's fine. What happens is that what I'm trying to tell you is Let's let's log into AWS account because there's a Linux machine instead of Mac. That will be better. I'm deleting this container. Wait. See, everywhere it's fine. I mean, it's the same thing, but as I told you, it'll be in Linux since we are all will be using Linux. If you go to any organization, so it's better to practice in that. Of course, I Linux and Mac both are same, but the paths are different. Obviously, that we cannot change it. Come on. So let's go to Linux server only. Why to hell? Why to bother about these things? It will take a minute. So, but yeah, before seeing that volumes topic, that's what we are discussing today. See, what happens is generally, uh, in Docker environment, let's say I created a container, and inside that there is some data. Maybe let's say imagine like Nginx configuration. Nginx configuration, I updated it. It's fine. But the thing is, if you delete a container, whatever the data present inside the container is gone. Whatever the data present inside the container, it will be gone. By default, it is the behavior. By default, it works like that. But let's say, what if I want the data to be stored? I don't want the data to be deleted along with the container. That's when you use some concept called volumes. Got it? So let me show you first systemctl status docker. That's fine. So that's why use some concept called volumes. With volumes, what happens is it will make sure that whatever the data you store in that volume will be present even after deleting the container because the volume does not depend on the container. So now here, if I go to varlib docker, you will see lots of things, right? Containers, image, network, of course, we'll see that later, volumes. So whatever you create something, it will be present here. Got it? Let's let's go to image. There is nothing because there are no Docker images. See, same with the containers also. There will be not. There is nothing inside it, right? Let's run a container. I can do it. Right, it's 85 something 80 iPhone name test nginx fine. Some port number I gave randomly, whichever is fine. So now there is a container running, obviously image also present, which we just pulled. Now go to containers. See, there is an ID, right? This is the container ID. See, observe here, F53238. This is a full ID, obviously. If you go to container, this is all the data of containers. Go to mounts. Obviously, there is no data. We haven't stored anything. But this is what the default. Let's go to images also. See, image. Okay, it's still not came. It will take some time. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is everything, whatever you do, it will be by default store here. Let's go inside a container now. exec -it, what is the test /bin/sh. Let's create a file test 1 2 3 or something, some random file. Now control pq. Let's go to containers again. Containers, the ID. If you observe this, the whatever we have created, it will come here. It will take few minutes, but it will come here. So whatever you store, everything will come here. Correct? That's what we are seeing, right? Now let's delete the container docker rm -f test. See, this container ID folder, it is gone because this folder will create when you create a container, and once it is deleted, it's gone. There won't be there. And let's say the test 123 file I created inside Nginx, right? I mean the container, sorry. The test container, I created this file. That file also gone. Imagine that. We have storing so much data inside that what is that container, but it's gone now. How the hell we get it back? There is no way. That's where the concept called Docker volumes are present. Of course, volumes you can see here, there is nothing. So Docker volumes are present. Docker volumes, how it will work? I mean, simple. We create a volume and we mount the volume to the container. We create a volume and we mount it, just like how we mounted our disk, right? You remember in Linux, we discussed this. We mount a disk when we use it as a normal, as like within our system, like that. Similar way here, volumes, we mount it. Got it? What I'm saying? You create a volume, you mount it. How to create a volume? Simple. Docker, sorry, Docker volume ls to see what volumes are available. Obviously nothing. Now Docker volume create. What is volume name? Maybe test hyphen wall something. See test volume created. Let's check ls again. See it came. See a test volume is created. Now this volume also will store the data in here. Where lib Docker volumes. See there is a test wall. Go here. What is there? Underscore data folder will be there by default. See obviously there is no data. So that's why it's not present. Now what should we do is when we run a container, we have to mount this volume to whichever path you want inside a container. And that's it. Whatever your volume is mounted to container and you can able to use and to store the data, blah, 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 all these things. Got it what I'm saying? You just create a volume and use it. This is of course one way of doing it. There is another way, we'll see it. So how do I, let's say I'm running Nginx container, right? We just seen it. I'll run the container again. How do I mount this volume? Simple, we pass a new argument. Docker run hyphen d hyphen p blah 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 port number hyphen name test. You know all these things. And of course the finally image name nginx colon fine also. You know this is the command. How do I pass a volume? Before anywhere before the image, you can just pass hyphen v. V means volume. On the left side, first what you have to do, what you want to mount. Test volume. I mean this is the volume I want to mount. Test hyphen wall colon where you want to mount it. This is the path you have to give inside a container. See which folder you want to mount it. You can give anything, depends on your use case. I want to mount this volume maybe slash test slash volumes something. So this volume will be mounted to this path. Now what happens is whatever data you store in this volume, sorry, in this path, inside a container, I mean, which will stored in this volume. Obviously means in this your laptop, I mean wherever you're running the Docker container, where lib Docker volumes, your test volume underscore data folder, the data will be present. It will come here. Obviously there is no data, right? So it will come when you store it. Now yeah, before going there, this is how we mount it. Hyphen v argument we pass it, that the volume, whatever the volume name you want to use it. Colon where you want to mount it. See, this will be different. Don't worry, like it depends on your use case. Maybe nginx etc slash nginx you want to mount it, which is completely fine. I mean depends on what use case you are, where you're mounting. Now container is running. Let's go inside, let's verify it, right? Obviously df hyphen h, that's how you verify. See slash test slash volume. Why it is showing 28 GB something? This is the, as I told you, we are creating a volume, we are mounting it. There is no size limitation. The size will be limit of your disk size, I mean of your system wherever you're running it. So we cannot set the size limitation for this volume. We can use the whole system size. That's the 28 GB is the system size, that's why. See, slash test slash volume. It's mounted. So if it is showing in the mounted volumes, right, df minus h, it means it's mounted to this test volume. Now let's verify one more thing. Of course, store the data, create something, touch something, blah, 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 whatever the files I'm just creating. So in the test volume, I created some files. Now go outside the container, go to varlib docker volumes test volume underscore data. See the data. This is what we created inside the test volume. Observe here in the container. This is inside a container, right? Now I'm inside my system. I mean the host. This is where the data is being stored. Whatever, I mean, remember again, we whatever we store in the mounted path, that only will be preserved. Let's say you created some data in this folder or this I mean these are not folder, these are files, I'm just saying. Let's say this folder, these are not mounted with your volume, right? So whatever the data will be present here, it will be gone. Whatever the data present in this mounted path, that only will be preserved. How the hell I know whether it is preserved or not? Delete the container deleted. Let's go to varlib docker again. Varlib docker volumes test volume is still there. See, underscore data folder will be there. See the data. See, simple, right? As simple as that. That container is deleted, but your data is still present. Now you can create another container. You can able to mount it. You can able to use it. There is no restrictions, nothing like that. So that's how it usually works. And that too, remember again, one volume, test volume is there, right, for us now. This test volume can be mounted to n number of containers. N number of containers. There is no limit. There is no limit. I'm telling you, Docker run -d -f name test -v test -vol colon / home / test vol. The path, I told you, it's your wish. Whatever, wherever you want to mount, you can mount it. And it has some data, right? All data will be represent here. It will be present here. I mean, it will be synced. I'm not using the ports anyway. We're not testing that. Now let's create test volume 1. I'm just giving. I'm telling you, you can mount to n number of containers. Test volume 11. I'm just giving. Volume is same, but the mount path can be different. See, I ran 3 containers. 3 containers are mounted with this. Correct? In a different paths. The source is same, but destination is different. I mean, wherever we're mounting it, it's our wish. So it's not like you need to mount in one specific folder only, not like that. I have 3 containers, same volume is being used by 3 containers. It can be used by 300 containers also. The paths can be different, 300 paths it can be, I mean, each container different path. Got it? There is nothing, no restriction like that. Let's go inside one thing, exercise-it test 1 maybe, /bin /sh df minus hc /home test volume 1. Go there. You don't need to create a folder. This folder does not exist. This folder does not exist by default in this image. It will create automatically. Got it? It will automatically create the folder if it is not exist. If it is exist, it will use it. That's it. The home test volume 1 folder does not exist by default, obviously. Got it what I'm saying? So if it is not exist, it will create. If it is exist, it will use it. That's how. So let's create a LSC. The data is came. Now new file. Of course, I created a new file. It means what happens now? The data is updated in, sorry, I forgot what is the test volume, right? See, the data is here. It means in other containers also, this one or this one, the data will be in sync. Let's go to this container, check this path. What is test one, right? Sorry, test 11. Go to slash home test 11. See, new file is there. The data is in sync now. As simple as that. Got it what I'm saying now? You can create a volume, obviously, which will store the data in where live Docker volumes in your host, wherever storing. And you can mount the volume to n number of containers. Now I'll delete every container. What happens? Obviously, you know this. Test 1, test 11. But still, see the data is present. Now you can mount to another container, which is completely fine. That's how it works. That simple it is. Volumes. See, like this, we'll preserve the data. See, to make sure that the data is not deleted along with the container. Again, I'm telling you, wherever you mount it, that path data will be preserved. Say test volume we mounted in slash home slash volume 11 or something. So whatever you store in that path within the container, that will be preserved, not other folders. Got it, right? That's what we are. That's what how volumes works. Got it? How it works? This is one way of using it. I mean, we create a volume and we use it. Now let's say I don't want this volume. Docker volume. Sorry. Docker volume rm test type and vol. Obviously, if you're using this volume, I mean, if it is using by any container, it won't delete. So now volume is deleted. Let's go to where lib docker. What is there? Where lib docker volumes. See, there is no folder. It's gone. Now we deleted it manually. That's fine. It's gone. Done. So like that. This is one of the approach how we use volumes. I mean, we create volumes and we mount it and we use it. Even the container is deleted, the volume still be present unless you delete the volume manually. One more command I forgot to mention. Docker, let's run it. Docker cp command is there. Cp. Cp means copy. If you want to copy any files from Docker, let's not mount it for now. You want to copy some file. Let's create a folder. Sorry, our file. Test1 docker cp test1 to which you want to copy the test contain the container name or id colon where you want to copy slash home slash nginx something. It's copied to nginx. Now go inside a container slash home slash nginx. See, nginx. See what's happening is copied as a file. This test1 file is copied as a file to the name is nginx. Instead of that, you know what you have to do? Give slash nginx one slash. Now no such directory. See, imagine now docker cp you gave. Okay, this is correct. I want to copy this file to this folder. Maybe that's what your intention is. But if you don't give slash at the end, you know what docker thinks? Okay, I have to copy this file called test1 to home folder. I mean slash home folder as nginx. It means the file name it will change as nginx and it will copy. But if you give slash, it means it will think as complete path. If you don't give slash at the end, the last whatever it says, it takes as file. That's why I'm trying to go to Nginx. It's not going because it's a file. Docker CP. From local to Docker, if you want to copy, you can copy like this. From Docker to local also, you can copy. Simple. The source and destination will change. Simple. Docker CP. Container name. What is the path? Engine slash home. This is the file which we have. Copy. See, it's copied. Of course, the same file we copied as Nginx file, then it renamed automatically, and we just copied it. It's just like SCP, but Docker CP. Source and destination will change differently based on that. Got it? Just a Docker CP command. Now coming back to our volumes, we have seen one approach, creating a volume and using it. Now, instead of creating a volumes, let's create a folder here. mkdir, what folder? Data. Some data. I mean the folder name is data. I have these two files in data. So instead of creating my own volume, I want to mount this. This is the file, I mean folder, right? Which belongs to system, your host, wherever Docker is running. It's not a volume, it's a folder which belongs to this user to this system. I want to mount this. How the hell I to do it? Simple again, same thing. Same thing. Docker run hyphen d hyphen v give full path slash root slash data. I want to mount this path to where? Anywhere. Again, no need to give slash, no need to mount exactly like in as this folder in container. In container, it can be anything slash home slash test data or something, whatever it is. And what is it? Nginx. Fine. Obviously, image does not exist because the spelling is wrong. See, it's created. Now let's go inside it. First, check the container. Where is that? df-h. See, slash home slash blah blah blah, whatever it is. cd slash home test. See the data, whatever present inside the data, I mean inside the host, it came here. Same thing. Same thing, just instead of creating volumes, you use the host volumes, which is commonly used everywhere. That's how you use it. Same approach is same, but except here you are mounting the folder belongs to system, the host. Earlier we just create a volume. Of course, there also we created a volume. The volume data will be stored in the host only. I mean in the system only. But here we're just using it. That's it. We're just using the host. And of course, you create a data there, it will display, it will come to, I mean, it will be sync in here. If you create a, inside the host, it will be displayed inside a container. All will data will be in sync. Of course, again, as I mentioned, you can mount this folder to n number of containers again. There is no limitation, just like earlier. Just like earlier, no limitation, nothing really. Got it. That's how the volumes are. With this, I know this is very simple, this, but this is very, very important actually, because without volumes, we don't use containers. If we are using containers, we'll be using volumes because we want to store the data, whatever it's generating, whatever the application is storing or whatever it is, logs and everything, we want to store them. So that's why we will be using volumes. Now let's create a volume again. Vol1 create spelling. So I created. You can mount multiple volumes to a single container. That also I want to show you. Docker run hyphen d hyphen name test1 hyphen v. First I want to maybe let's say mount the host slash test folder. Again hyphen v I can pass it like this. Hyphen v, what is the volume, right? Vol1 slash test1. I can mount like this. There is nothing wrong. Like this I can able to mount. Enter. See, it's mounted. Of course, go inside it. dfi minus h. See slash test one. Go to slash test one. There will be obviously data. Go to slash test one. No data because it's a new volume. That's why. Create something. It will be displayed obviously in where it's storing in our host where lib docker volumes, the volume one folder underscore data folder inside data, and that this data will be stored because it's a volume we just created. This is the root path. Like this we can mount multiple volumes. There is no limitations as I told you. And of course you can pass multiple port numbers also, -p 8080 -p 8081 colon something 443 like this. You can mount multiple. No need to mount to single port number because it's already mounted. Why to mount it again? Why to map it again? Like this, you can pass multiple things, multiple volumes, multiple ports. It will obviously throw error because I have container running. Got it? So that's about volumes. Very, very important. I mean, we use it every day. If you're creating a container, you're creating a volume. If you're creating something in any container, it can be, let's say Jenkins. I know Jenkins, where lib Jenkins, it will store every data, right? By default, if there is no volume means whatever my job data or my pipelines, configuration, everything is gone. If the container is deleted, then what I do, now in this case is I'll use volume for the varlib Jenkins to store the data in my wherever the system. So even if the Jenkins container is deleted, I have the data because I mounted the volume to varlib Jenkins. That's all. That's how you use it. That's how you use it. Got it? That's all about volumes, how you use it. You can create your own volume or you can use the system path as a volume, which is completely fine. Got it? So that's about today's topic. So it's fine for today, just I don't want to mix two things. So practice volume because this is very, very, very much important. Got it? Tomorrow there won't be any class on this tomorrow Monday. Yeah, there won't be any class. We'll continue from Tuesday again. Got it? So we'll continue with the network. Meanwhile, you practice all these. So we'll start from Tuesday again. So yeah, that's all for today. Practice it. I don't want to take too much time. This today's Sunday. So please, happy Sunday everyone. Bye bye all.